Let's talk about a ripple effect that could change the Kansas City Chiefs wide receiver room and potentially reshape part of their offense going forward, because things just got a lot more complicated. But first, make sure to hit that like button if you've been a fan for 30 plus years. Now, here's the story fans need to hear right now. When the Baltimore Ravens extended Rashad Bateman to $36.75 million, including $20 million guaranteed, it wasn't just a moment of joy for a young player. It was a gut punch for Chiefs fans who were hoping for a manageable, team-friendly extension with Hollywood Brown. That deal, Bateman's, effectively raised the overall price tag on receivers who are secondary options, and let's be honest, that puts the Chiefs in a tough spot. And if you've been a fan who's been following this franchise's post-Tyreek Hill evolution, you know exactly why that could be a tipping point. The Chiefs, under Brett Veach and Andy Reid, have sent a crystal-clear message: they don't chase big-money wide receiver deals. They let Tyreek Hill walk. They've patched the room together with versatile, sometimes risky options, and somehow, despite the chaos, they keep making Super Bowl runs. 3 consecutive seasons ending in the Super Bowl, despite all the skepticism surrounding the WR group. It's not always pretty, but it works. Now here's where it gets real. Brown, who fits the Kansas City mold and could flourish with Patrick Mahomes, may now be financially out of reach unless he agrees to a below-market deal. And that's not just about dollars, it's about identity. Hollywood Brown has a decision to make, and it's not a simple one. Does he choose the consistent spotlight of meaningful games, playoff glory, and the Mahomes-Reid system? Or does he follow the dollar signs and leave what could be a dynasty in the making for a franchise willing to overpay? That's the tension simmering right now. And whether he stays or goes will say a lot about where the Chiefs' WR strategy goes from here. But while that story simmers, let's pivot to the other side of the ball, because Steve Spagnuolo is cooking something special. Post-2025 NFL Draft, Spags has been handed a fresh batch of defenders that he's visibly excited about. Tennessee's Omar Norman-Lott, Louisville's Ashton Gill-Latte, Cal's Noel Williams, and Oregon's Jeffrey Bassa aren't just prospects, they're puzzle pieces already clicking into place. Spags talked about one critical, unteachable trait they all share: football get it. They're not just athletes, they're students of the game, guys who love the grind, love the study, and play with heart. In a Spagnuolo system, that's gold. Take Norman-Lott, drafted in the second round and expected to slide into the defensive line rotation early. He's powerful, he's mean in the trenches, and he brings something the Chiefs have been craving: dominance at the point of attack. Spags is cautiously optimistic, not handing out guarantees but suggesting there's nothing so far to make him doubt Norman-Lott's readiness. Then there's Gill-Latte, the edge bender. His ability to play low, to control pad level, gives him an edge Spags values deeply. For a defensive coordinator known for scheming pressure, a guy like Gill-Latte could be the X factor that shifts pass rushing responsibilities and opens up more versatility. Jeffrey Bassa? He's already showing signs of being the brainiac of the group. Moved temporarily to Mike linebacker during rookie minicamp, not his natural spot, but he soaked up the full defensive scheme like a veteran. That speaks volumes. That speaks to a ceiling that could eventually surpass rotational play and make him a starter in the not-too-distant future. And don't forget about Noel Williams, the corner from Cal. Spags calls him a student of football. That's no throwaway compliment. In today's pass-heavy NFL, you need corners who know more than just backpedals and breaks. You need guys who can read offenses, anticipate route trees, and understand down and distance tendencies. Williams might not start day one, but you better believe his name is being circled in the DB room. All of these draft picks, all of this optimism, it adds fuel to the idea that Kansas City's defensive core isn't just good now, it's sustainable. The torch is already being passed from Chris Jones and Nick Bolton to the next generation. Spags knows it, the front office knows it, and fans watching OTAs are starting to see it too. Before we jump to part 2, let me ask you, what's your take on Hollywood Brown's future in Kansas City? Does he stick around for the glory, or chase the money elsewhere? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And just as we shift gears, there's another name that's quietly but powerfully starting to shape the future of this Chiefs offense again: Rashee Rice. Coming off a 2024 season that was cut painfully short by an LCL injury in Week 4, the young wide receiver has been on a mission, and Chiefs Kingdom is watching every move. The energy around Rice right now? It's electric. He missed the first week of OTAs due to illness, but once he stepped back onto the field, it was as if the calendar flipped back to week 1 of last season. He looked explosive, smooth, and hungry. Patrick Mahomes, never one to hand out praise lightly, has been glowing about Rice's progress. And here's what stands out. Mahomes didn't just mention effort. He talked about consistency, about Rice being right back in the building as soon as the offseason began, grinding every day, throwing with Mahomes in Dallas, and putting himself back into the chemistry of this offense. That's not just recovery, that's leadership. That's hunger. Mahomes said it best. He's making plays on the football field. He's explosive. He looks fast. I think he can be one of the best receivers in the league. Let's pause there. That's your franchise quarterback, the reigning MVP, 2-time Super Bowl MVP, saying Rice has the tools to be one of the best in the league. Not just good. Not just our guy. One of the best. That carries weight. And if you're in Chiefs Kingdom, that should raise every expectation you have for the offense this year. Offensive coordinator Matt Nagy doubled down on the optimism. While being careful not to crown Rice prematurely, Nagy made it clear that this second-year leap feels different. It feels like Rice is no longer trying to find his footing. He's preparing to dominate. That's how dynasties reload instead of rebuild. That's how the Chiefs stay on top. And now, combine that with Xavier Worthy, who's had his own breakout stretch, and suddenly, this offense looks like it could be the most dangerous yet. Not just because of talent, but because of versatility. Because now Mahomes isn't leaning on one superstar wideout like he did with Hill. He's dealing to weapons who are young, dynamic, and learning the playbook inside and out. Add in Andy Reid's mad scientist play calling, and this might be the most unpredictable version of the Chiefs yet. So what does all this mean? It means the WR room might not need Hollywood Brown to break the bank. It means that maybe, just maybe, Kansas City's answer is already on the roster. That the next great chapter in Chiefs history might already be unfolding with Rice and Worthy under Mahomes' watch inside Reid's system. But here's the twist, everything still hinges on what happens over these next few weeks. OTAs are just the beginning. Training camp is coming. Preseason will give us a glimpse, but the real fireworks? That starts in September. Every rep, every throw, every read is building towards something bigger. And now, Chiefs Kingdom, it's your turn. We've laid out the details, we've looked inside the locker room, and now we want to hear from you. Will Rashee Rice bounce back and take that next elite step? Should the Chiefs lock in Hollywood Brown despite the market chaos? Is this new WR duo already enough to keep the dynasty rolling? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you're enjoying this deep dive into the future of your team, hit that like button and make sure you're subscribed. Go Chiefs!